many fantasies does it take to fill up a Brotherhood? We're going to answer that question along with talking about some of our favorite gaming news of the week right after this. Stay with us.
Welcome to Popcorn Talk, featuring movie discussion, news, and interviews. Popcorn Talk. We talk movie. And now, here's Popcorn Talk's video game movie anatomy.
15. The answer's 15. Hi, everybody.
Yeah,
Welcome
that just happened.
15. Wow. All right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And now you can tune out, like most of our listeners do. Welcome to Video Game Movie Anatomy here on the Popcorn Talk Network. We got the whole squad here.
We do.
I'm one of your hosts, the internet's Mark Donica. Find me on Twitter at Mark Donica. But it's not about me. It's about my team. Stacey Shuttleworth.
Hi guys, I'm Stacey Shuttleworth. You can find me online on Instagram and Twitter at Stacey Shuttles, or all across the web at Nerds Doing Stuff.
Patrick Dees.
What up? What is up? You can find me at P to the D's, mostly on Twitter, but I'm also here.
You're here.
I'm here. Watch some Final Fantasy. I know.
All right, so today we're going to be talking about the short series, sort of, if you piece them together, OVAs, I don't know. We're talking about Brotherhood, Final Fantasy 15, which was an anime series released on YouTube, Crunchyroll. If you got the special edition, you got an extra scene with Luna Freya. It was fun backstory on all of our characters.
I didn't know this thing existed. You were like, hey, by the way, you should watch this. And I'm like, yeah, I probably should.
Yeah.
Probably, yes.
But
it was a delight, is my point. Like,
Yeah, it came out around the same time as Kingsglaive, and it was like this,
yeah.
and then Kingsglaive, and then the game, but then this kept going.
I think we made the right decision to watch Kingsglaive first.
I agree.
Yeah.
I do agree.
This was better than I would have anticipated. We'll get into it, but just, it was a delight.
Yeah. So the reason we're doing this is because there's Final Fantasy all throughout the news. This week, Final Fantasy 14 Stormblood, the big expansion, is coming out. The Prompto DLC is going to be coming out soon, and the announcement of Monsters of the Deep for VR was made. You were
Oh my god,
freaking
that
out.
was one of my favorite parts of that whole conference. Absolutely. You know that thing that everybody loves about Final Fantasy 15? The fishing.
Dude, if it's anything like Sega Bass Fishing, I'm about it.
So, like, do you remember last year they had the demo where you, like, you get in the car and everybody was oogling Sid?
Oh.
Do you remember that? It was a VR demo, and like literally everybody who got in was just like, it was a weird, very weird demo, and I think everybody had that same reaction, like, yeah, that's kind of gross. And then they just were like, nah, y'all, we're gonna go and fishing.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing.
Can't look at it and just go fish.
Yeah.
That's it. Like,
Sometimes you just gotta crack open a cold one with the boys and go fishing.
Take some photos.
Yeah.
Some sexy time photos. Love Prompto.
modeling.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so before we get into Brotherhood, we're going to talk about what we've been playing for the past couple of weeks. It was E3 recently, so we did play some demos of some new stuff, but also, was anybody playing anything fresh these past couple of weeks?
So they're not technically new games, but they're new to me. I took full advantage of the PlayStation sale that they've been having. So I picked up Wolfenstein, I picked up Firewatch. Those are the two that I've started. Got a couple other things.
It's two excellent pickups.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. Had you played Wolfenstein before?
I have never.
You were in
played
for a
Wolfenstein
treat.
Before,
Narratively, it is one of the best first-person shooter campaigns of all time.
The 2014 or the New Blood?
Both. Yeah, I picked up both.
Right.
I did actually.
How much have you gotten into either of them? Do you enjoy them?
Wolfenstein, I've gotten to the main menu. Firewatch, I've gotten. Yeah.
Whoa.
Right? Look at me go. Look at me go. I think I played about 45 minutes of Firewatch so far.
Okay.
But it's
And
pretty cool.
not too long of a game, Firewatch.
4 or 5 hours, kind of at the most. You'll finish it quickly. I will say this too about Wolfenstein: power through the first hour. It does this thing where like it starts very differently than it ends up becoming. And there's a turret sequence, weirdly enough, in the first little bit, and you're like, what are we doing, Wolfenstein? And I would have probably put it down had I not kept hearing just how compelling the characters were. And so just please push through that because it is well worth it. It's really, and actually, you can play through it like twice. So they're very early on. There is a branch which you have to make a choice.
It's very clear,
I don't
too,
like
right?
choices.
It's one big choice, and you end up in one of two timelines, and that timeline is diametrically different than the other timeline. And so you very literally, you can replay the game. Levels are all the same, combat's the same, but like what goes on in your world is orders of magnitude different. And this one's doing the same thing, which is exciting to me, the new one.
Great.
How about you, Patrick? What are you playing?
I went back to Ghost Recon Wildlands. Look, El Sueño's not going to capture himself, Mark. I don't know if you know about this. Look, I've been on this co-op jam. I've still been playing a little bit of that Shadow Warrior 2. Still highly recommend it. Still very Borderlandsy. The humor is ridiculous, but also realized I have that like that OCD thing where like I got a ways into taking down the cartel, and I know he's still out there. I know he's still like taking over Bolivia. I need to shut him down. So I jumped back into that, playing with brothers and friends and all that. So it's been good. Still love that. It's still the best-selling game of the year.
Which is that'll probably change.
It will most certainly, but it's doing all right.
It's doing just fine.
Are you playing anything?
I finally got my hands on Tekken 7.
Okay,
like
and
today.
Okay,
literally.
yeah.
It's really silly the amount of customization you can do.
Yeah.
There's in-game purchases, but it's the silliest. You can get like a fan for the top of your head.
On board with that?
Yeah, why not?
Just an aesthetic. It's not like that Mortal Kombat, like the Injustice, where you get the gear and it like stat based or anything. No, it's just
like they did. There's a promotion. One of their characters is an in-world professional wrestler, and they did a deal with real professional wrestling group and New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Okay.
And so you can get T-shirts from some of their wrestlers, an entire outfit to make them look like one of their wrestlers. It's like, oh, that's cool.
I'm on board.
It exists.
Yeah, totally.
Akuma kind of breaks the game for me because he's still just his Street Fighter self, fireballs and everything.
I was just gonna say the projectiles just break it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
it's a fun new hurdle for Tekken fans to get past. I'm really enjoying it.
Do you know if anybody else is even playing that? I felt like for the first couple of days you heard a lot about it, and then just nothing. So I don't know how it did.
But it came out right before E3.
It did.
So
it's true.
I guess we'll probably find out at EVO. EVO is going to be middle of July. I'm excited for that because no matter if you watch fighting games or not, you can still get super hyped.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it's one of the most hype events of the year. One of the saltiest events of the year. And then I've also been in Minecraft is just a nice crutch.
It's a comfort game, right? Like,
it's
yeah,
nice.
100%.
Just turn your brain off and go, I need to find carrots.
I get that feeling quite a bit. How did you guys like the super duper mode in the Microsoft conference this year? Did you?
That means I don't have to download all of the texture packs and everything. It's just gonna be that way.
I just love the idea of 4K Minecraft.
Yeah,
it was great.
Idea.
It was kind of great.
It looked gorgeous.
Yeah, it did. Like, again, ostensibly most of it that's lighting, all that jazz. But like, I just again the conceptually, I just think it's hysterical.
In chat, we've got Snorlax used rest. Love that name.
Yep.
Saying I play Tekken 7 still. Who do you play as? What system do you play on? We've got a couple of new folks joining. Hopefully you saw our E3 coverage last week. If you haven't, go back and check it out. It was a hell of a lot of fun, and we're going to try to do more stuff like that here on the Popcorn Talk Network. So leave us a comment saying that you liked it and a thumbs up.
You mentioned you guys played some demos. You might have gotten into that on the E3 show. Lamentably, I missed that. Had some obligations. Did anything that you wanted to talk about?
We'll talk about that in the show when we sort of wrap up and talk about your E3 experience.
Great, sounds good.
So that we can get into that a little bit more. I downloaded the EA Access. They had a free couple of days. So I downloaded Battlefront 1, which I played a long time. Mirror's Edge Catalyst, I downloaded and got to the start menu, and then it ran out.
Well.
So
you guys are serious gamers,
right? I mean, we're pouring those hours into this game.
You're really weighing over. It was the choice that got you. Don't like choices, and the difficulty level just. I got to think about this.
Yeah. Well, long story short, back with the original BioShock, the reason why I never played it was I borrowed it from a friend. No. Listen to this. I borrowed it from a friend, and there's one Saturday I went, I am ready.
Yeah.
Time to play BioShock. Put it in my PlayStation. Download. And then it installed. And it took 3.5 hours to install.
Sounds about
right.
right.
By the time I came back, I went, I don't want to play this anymore.
And you still, to this day?
I still haven't played the original BioShock. I played Infinite.
Okay.
And I love Infinite.
Okay.
And I love the world, but it was still just a thing of like I did play it, but I played for maybe like 25 minutes, and I was like, I'm done.
That remastered collection's real good.
I know, that's what you keep
so
playing.
Good. I know, I keep plugging it. I got a hard sell.
Snorlax Use Rest is a King user on PS4. Respect that, love that. Got to get that Okada skin and the Bullet Club shirt.
King's legit.
King's the best. But he says he already got all of the trophies, which is nuts.
Wow.
Because there's online mode trophies as well. You're no joke. I do have it for Xbox right now, so unfortunately we can't play online. But let's talk about Brotherhood, Final Fantasy 15.
Yeah.
This was a lovely surprise.
Well, it was a delight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Had you watched this before?
So I watched it almost immediately after we watched Kingsglaive.
Okay.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, so I actually watched it before I started playing the game, which was cool.
Oh, how was that?
You know what? Having that background was actually really nice because at least for me personally, without some of that background, some of the character interactions would have been a little more far out there and been like, really?
Like which ones specifically?
Just kind of how they talk to each other in some cases, especially probably between Noctis and Gladio.
Yep.
And just, the way they treat each other, it really does get balanced out by this series a little bit more.
Yeah, totally. For me, that was a difficult entry point, right? Like and eventually you get over it. You spend enough time with the boys on the road trip that you're like, whatever.
Then it doesn't matter.
But the Prompto specifically, made way more sense because they go throughout the game. They reference his eating, right? And he's a little conscious of his body image or whatever. But you never saw him as a chubby little kid, not at all. And I thought it was a weird little character detail to include. And for some reason, this really rounded that out. I was like, okay, I get it.
I have to agree. At the end of so this was split up into various episodes. The first episode sort of introduced us to the world that we were going to be exploring, and then every subsequent episode was about one of the Chocobros, respectively. Yep. And after the first episode, and this is me having the game installed but not playing it. You see a trend here, and just going.
How was that start menu, Mark?
Dude, beautiful.
It's beautiful, isn't it? I know. PS4
nice,
Pro.
Right?
Yes. Especially that's what I got the Pro for.
I know.
That start screen.
Yeah. Looks so hot.
But watching after the first episode, I went, man. Prompto's just a little piece of work, isn't he?
It's the best.
And then first episode is like, I didn't want to hit a dog, and then he was a fat kid.
He's the best.
Okay, yeah. Immediately made me go,
the best.
all right, Prompto, chill out some places, but...
Nah.
Oh, yeah. You love to hate him, or you not love to hate him. That's the wrong thing. He definitely that ended up being part of his charm. He was so grating in the beginning, but by the end, I'm like, God, I miss Prompto.
Right? No, it makes the game.
It does.
Really does.
Totally.
Without it, just something would hugely be missing.
And I kind of loved how he even had a camera from the jump, and again, the best part of that whole game was going back and looking at your mememories at the end of it, when all these pictures that you've chosen.
An unhealthy amount of photos.
What's an unhealthy
saved.
amount?
So I have I just send them to my computer.
Oh, do you really?
Okay, good. I was gonna say, could you do that? And when can we expect the giant Facebook photo
Yes.
album?
It's a private album. Right now, guys. Well, it's really okay. So
This is a
it's the easiest. It's the easiest thing to download from the PlayStation Network straight to Facebook. But I don't want to be putting up 400.
No.
Me and my bro.
What happens on the road trip stays on the road trip. This is a private album, okay?
It's there. It's not going public.
That's kind of great, though.
There are some gems, though.
I do totally. It's so good. I think we should montage this. We should put it in music. We should play it at the end of one of our episodes.
I'll get those all together.
Because it caps you at 150 in the game. You've got.
I know.
Okay.
So wait, does it cap you?
That's why I had to start sending them.
That's what I was gonna. Okay, so you can send them and then clear out your.
Amazing.
Yep, that's what happened.
But they're so good. It's such a cool mechanic. It really, really is.
And then some of them are so good in the worst way.
Oh, I know.
And I have to keep all of
totally.
those.
I take the train wrecks and the ones that you're like, oh, that was a great moment.
I have special collections of times where Noctis is just flopped back on his back, just completely getting destroyed. There's a couple where he's got a spear through his chest.
Oh yeah, totally.
Prompto's just there taking photos.
Gladio's great shot there. And you're like, is it?
Guys.
Is it?
I know.
So good.
So in the Prompto episode, we learned that he has taken care of a dog before, and did anybody? When you first saw it, but did anybody think that? I immediately went, what if this is Luna's dog? What if this is somebody we know's dog?
Yeah.
Whether it's Noctis's or Luna's, I had the thought. Did anybody else?
While we were watching this, I didn't even occur to me. I was like,
no.
what are the chances?
Yeah. No.
But it's also cool to have that extra thing of when we finally get to see her. Can I meet her? Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. Why? Why is this such a big deal? It's I just want to meet her. Okay.
Yeah, that little bit that he still doesn't know.
But in the moment, it was cringeworthy when he wanted to meet her, and I'm like,
oh.
Come on, yeah, okay, and then
Well, especially every looking at the letter, smelling the letter, putting it back in its own tin. It's all right, okay, Prompto, chill.
I get it. You haven't been around the opposite sex much at all.
It smells so nice.
Take a step back. It's gonna be okay.
I want to wear your skin to my birthday party.
I gotta go, guys.
I like how this one ended though, where he keeps going up to Noctis after that first fateful encounter and just not being able to. And it seems like Noctis starts to wait for him to just do it.
So, but what was the? I think it's a weird message to say you can't hang out with somebody until you're in shape.
See, that is a
it's
really weird
so bizarre.
But that's the thing about Noctis is he was at least presented in this. He's such an enigma and just sort of a cool guy.
Yeah. He works at Hot Topic.
Yeah. Where it seems like if we had an extra minute in this one, it would have been I've been waiting for you to come back and talk to me.
Yeah.
Because that's what it seemed like he was implying with the "Don't I Know You." At the end.
Yeah.
And I do think that it was presented more that it was kind of Prompto's personal hang-up,
For
that
sure.
it wasn't necessarily a world view. But yeah, still a little
Reinforces that you
like
don't approach anybody until you've starved yourself for several years.
Yep.
No more burgers. Episode 3 was Gladio's episode.
He looked at the salad like it was such a punishment.
That was a good looking salad.
It looks great.
I was like, I would
It was a
eat
trough
none
of
that.
salad.
You had half a cucumber in there.
So it looked like a good time.
You
Whatever.
paused it. Definitely a half. Like you like.
No, it just looks like a big old.
Yeah, I know.
Something I did find funny though is that same asset was reused in Ignis's episode.
Yes.
In the dirty dishes, it was just like that's the same
a
salad.
chunk of salad.
Good eye.
Yeah, like why?
Good eye.
In the
How
sink.
did you burn the salad?
Probably.
Yeah, Noctis would burn the
Would you
salad.
be that surprised? Because I wouldn't.
Yeah, no. Episode 3 was all about Gladiolus and his sister Iris, and originally not being so hot on being the Noctis's shield as opposed to no, dude, I'm all about the king, but this little twerp.
This brat.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
kid. This was really cool. I like this one. Any standouts of this, or was it just nice to finally see what their relationship is?
I think for me the standout was the haircut. Like he, as a young man, he was all like aerodynamic on the side. He looked great. Way better than this mullet thing he's got going on most of the game. I was like, stick
Seriously.
with that thing. Anyway, that was my
We
standout.
downgraded
Yeah, I mean,
throughout-
totally. I was
throughout
like,
the aging
I get it.
process there.
I get it. Letting yourself go a little bit.
It was a fun one where a lot of stuff happens, but it doesn't. But it's still a worthy chapter. Ignis's was dense.
Yes.
Yeah,
Dense
it was.
as all hell.
Yep.
Yes.
He's trying to recreate this pastry that Noctis had one time in Tenebrae. But we got a little bit of what Noctis is actually thinking about the whole being a prince and wanting to be king and all that stuff. Highlights, lowlights.
I don't know. I still think that one of the most interesting dynamics in of all four of them is between Ignis and Noctis.
Yeah, I
Because you're
agree.
not really sure how much is friendship and how much really is just duty.
Obligation, parental. Yes, yeah,
And
absolutely.
I think this episode keeps it really ambiguous.
I agree,
too.
totally. And I would have bet, going into it, I was like, okay, I'm going to actually get this. And that I thought the game just insufficiently described. It was enigmatic, but accidentally, because there's plenty of narrative misses through the course of this game.
Oh,
so I
yeah.
thought that was just a beat that they're like, screw it, we don't actually have to flesh
fine,
this out.
it's fine.
So as we started this, it was the one thing I was most interested in. I actually left satisfied that they left it ambiguous, but really I would have bet you coming into it, I was like, okay, I'll finally understand
You'll
kind of
know
what,
how
yes.
they work. and
Totally.
you still, but see, you don't quite understand what it is, but but it's enough. It's
Yep.
enough to kind of all right, well, it makes sense now.
I choose to believe, my headcanon is it started as duty and has turned into friendship.
Yeah.
And there might also be a little bit from Ignis in terms of this kid finally hearing Noctis say all of this training means that my dad's gonna die.
Yeah.
And I want to not think about that, but you keep making me think about it. And I think up until that point, it's he felt this responsibility of I've got to prep this kid whether he likes it or not.
Yeah.
Oh, he doesn't like it. Crap. Okay. And now it's that, but it's also I have to try to make him feel better at the same
Totally.
time with the pastry thing as well.
Yeah, it stopped being just pushback for the sake of Noctis being stubborn to, oh no, wait, I understand his feelings on this. And it became more of a working relationship.
Yeah, it seems like there's tug of wars where there's sometimes where it's mostly Ignis, but
Yep.
in the terms of I didn't bring anything to cook, well I got a cup of noodle. It's pretty good
Always
sometimes.
cup of noodle.
Well, not always. Your sodium intake just solid salt. It would be a rough thing.
That game should have been $0.00 based on the amount of in-game cup noodle advertising.
No, it should
the
have
cup
come
noodle
with
quest.
There is an entire quest dedicated to cup
I'm
noodle.
familiar.
It
Okay,
is.
so
Yeah.
just
I'm looking forward to it.
Oh yeah, it's
good
a highlight
time.
for sure.
It really
I've seen the in-game ad for it.
Oh.
I think it was
yeah.
I think it was Gladio that was just the noodles they're so tender.
It's
and
it's-
the
Oh
broth
no,
is-
they wax poetic.
Oh yeah, that's just
about cup noodles.
teeing pulling that off.
Especially Gladio, but all of them do it. It is unbelievable.
I look forward to it. One of the things I look forward to the most in playing Final Fantasy 15. Episode 5 was Noctis finally. It's sort of a culmination of what we saw in episode 1 with the Daemon.
Yep.
Absolutely terrifying Medusa-looking mess.
Yep.
He's seen a lot of business, and it seemed like what little we saw in the car of him, like, I should have brought Jar for the Fireflies. That moment is what changed him into the sort of secluded kid that we have seen throughout the series and kind of see tend to see during the game.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah.
I think it definitely shed some light on that, right? Like, again, because he's this sad goth, like, emo kid, and it made a little bit more sense. And again, like, I wish I'd played this. I wish I'd had this kind of going into it. Like, it would have been. And to me, it's crazy. I'm all for these trans properties, like transmedia properties. It's tough when so much is omitted from their core IP, right? Like the game, like. It's a miss. It's a miss.
Yeah, there was
you can't bank on people.
Background.
You can't and I think it should all be supplementary. Like I felt like Kingsglaive was a lot of like world building, and like Kingsglaive for me set the tone of that. Like again, it helped me understand combat in a way that you wouldn't have just kind of getting into the game, but again, not necessary. This just felt like all vital beats that would have fleshed out these, the relationships, and I don't know, it was a miss for me. Glad I saw it.
Four dudes silently driving in a car.
Yeah, a lot of that.
Occasional banter that has, no references.
Selfies driving, yeah,
all
totally.
The selfies.
Yep.
Well, this was arguably where we saw the most game-related action with the battle system, but it was more story.
Sure felt like that game combat too.
It did.
But yeah, super impressed because a lot of times when we watch these things, there's this crazy disconnect between how the game actually plays and how it looks on screen. It felt like the game.
Yeah, this was direct mirrors.
Yeah.
I mean, from the drop ships coming into the way they jumped off.
Totally.
Yeah,
and when all four of them started going, and they even toward the end where they were doing the team ups, it was great.
That single moment made me go similarly to when we did Kingsglaive and we were the warping.
Yes.
I was like, if that's not in the game, I'll be so disappointed.
Super is.
But I've seen the team up moves, so that's where I went. I need to play this game.
Yeah,
there are some great team up moves. I mean, and they highlighted a couple of them, but there are even more. Those are some of the highlights, I think.
I did miss Prompto yelling, "Hey there, opening!"
Yeah. See,
I was very bummed out that I didn't get that soundbite. Didn't make this movie. But.
That should have been
I agree.
in the movie.
And I know I'm not as familiar because I haven't played the game yet, but with Prompto, it's weird having Ignis with like sword, and Gladio with huge like axe-esque sword, and then I have one gun.
Yep.
One little 6-shooter.
Yeah.
And it works. It weirdly works.
Yeah, it does.
And he's like his little special move. Sometimes he'll fan the trigger, and he's always like he'll flip out and come from a distance. So yeah, I'm with you. It was a little jarring when you start, but it's kind of fun.
I've got a single gun. In this fantasy world, I chose an even more outdated piece of material as opposed to magic swords. But this was fun. Did anybody find the bonus scene with Lunafreya?
I did not.
I don't know what the bonus scene would have been. I saw a cut where it was all together, so I don't know.
Oh, okay.
What happens in the...
So, speaking of, like you had mentioned that if this was more readily available to the players, it probably would have gotten a little bit more traction and would have been a little bit more. So, all of these were available in the special edition of the Final Fantasy 15. And with that came this bonus scene with Lunafreya, where you see her modern day, and you see the dogs grown up, which is like, oh, it's a nice little circular thing. She remembers when her and Noctis first met. He was recently the victim of the Daemon attack that we see in the flashback, and we see a similar version of the scene as we saw in Kingsglaive, where she stays behind when Regis and Noctis run away from the army. But the only thing was revealing the Ring of Light being wielded by the one true king, and then Noctis going, "Be there soon, Luna. Sorry for the wait."
Okay.
It was short. It was like 4 minutes.
So I've seen that scene.
Okay.
Just not on this viewing. But
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. But it was just a nice thing. Like, even though we got 15 to 20 minute backstories on the guys, and we got a little bit of Lunafreya. Aside from the movie, when we got a little bit of Lunafreya.
Yeah.
This one we got a little bit of Lunafreya. A little bit more Luna, I think. Just in general. I think we agreed on that last time as well.
always
We 100%.
Always
She
needed.
ran away with Kingsglaive.
Yeah.
Ran away with that.
Absolutely.
This is so much fun. All right.
Nina Heddy.
Yeah, this was excuse me. This was absolutely fun. The same production company has a long list of credits for anime now, past, present. I think it started in the mid-90s, if I remember correctly. But most notably, the Netflix series 7 Deadly Sins. They did Persona 3 movies 2, 3, and 4.
That makes sense.
Not the first one,
Right.
but 2, 3, and 4. Yeah. The Ace Attorney series, which came out late last year. And the one that makes the most sense to me, Fairy Tail.
Yep.
Fairy Tail has got big fantasy action like this.
Got it.
An awesome soundtrack, but that they probably didn't have anything to do with that. But there was A1 Pictures. Go check out some of the other stuff A1 Pictures does. And if you haven't watched any of this, so good. Absolutely.
Especially if you have played the game and for some reason haven't seen this was actually, like, I keep using that word, it's a delight to go back. We were talking off mic. You spend so long in that world, and hearing that soundtrack, it becomes so iconic in a way that most game soundtracks are not. Like, I think Horizon Zero Dawn to this point is my game of the year, but I probably couldn't pinpoint one song. There's probably like 6 tracks in Final Fantasy that I like.
You recognize
love immediately. And so, like, they were playing throughout this whole thing, and for just to hear those again, it was so ridiculous. Like, the game is so flawed. It's so bad on so many levels, but I love it.
But it's so wonderful.
It is wonderful, totally.
There's so many bad things.
It's objectively terrible in moments, but there's so many things about it that I love, and the music ends up being one of those things that you just so much personality. So if you haven't played it.
Yeah.
And especially just in time for the Prompto DLC and Monsters of the Deep if you have VR.
Oh, yeah. All about that Monsters of the Deep.
Yeah, that Prompto DLC, I don't know how I feel about that. Have you seen the commercial? You have.
I've seen that commercial.
How do you feel about it?
I mean, I think it's going to be way more emotionally satisfying than the episode Gladio was.
Yeah.
I'm excited about that. Also, poor little baby, don't hurt him too much.
I don't know how he stands on his own.
He went through a lot of this.
I know, that guy went through some shit. I don't know how he's gonna do as carrying it, because I think he's a great, like, ancillary character. And then I'm very concerned because, like, mechanically, there's, like, snowmobile third-person driving, and straight up, like, shooting past it. Like, it's a shooter. It's a Gears over the shoulder, and I'm like, I don't know.
This is where I'm going to have a problem.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Shooting wildly everywhere.
It's ambitious. Take a swing. I'll play it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wait for your review, actually. So please be all over them tweets.
I will.
Thank you.
Just live tweet your pause. I gotta talk about this.
Okay, I'm at the start screen.
Shot right now. Guys, I made it to the start screen.
Just put up a GoPro and live stream it.
Yeah, perfect.
If anybody hasn't, this is all available for free. You can get it from the Final Fantasy YouTube page. You can get it from Crunchyroll, and I think you can download it from any Xbox One or PS4 media. But you might have to pay for it that way. Either way, it's all free. If you haven't checked it out,
Let's look at the Square Enix webpage too. I just linked off from there. So
yeah, and we know you wanted to get stuff as free and easy as possible.
I do. I'm always like, I'll pay for it. Just make it easy. I'm that guy. Don't make me search.
Well, speaking of searching, that's a bad transition. Patrick,
wasn't bad.
So you were originally supposed to be a part of our E3 coverage last week, but due to this reason or another reason, I don't know if you want to talk about it.
It was at the Twitch event. I love you guys. I got sucked into that.
But that is arguably much more important, and the argument is everybody's saying yes, so it's not really an argument. But how was your E3 experience? What were some of your highlights?
So E3 as a whole, I don't know how you guys felt, and I haven't watched your coverage, so I don't want to cover too much ground. But like, I think it was a weird E3.
It was a weird E3.
It was, right?
It was very different.
It was an E3 without a haymaker. There was no like major surprise, like nothing. I felt like every year there's something where just like it's this walk-off home run, and it's like we didn't see that coming. There are a lot of little things that I'm definitely excited about, but that, and I feel like we saw more 2018 games last year than we did this year.
Yeah, I can say that.
And so I don't know. There were definitely some standouts. I'm very excited about A Way Out. That you guys had a chance to actually see. Yes, at the EA.
But they didn't have it on display.
Kills me. Yeah. Did you guys play Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons?
I did a little bit.
I didn't
get too far, but I liked it.
So the premise is, you remember, like you're controlling 2 individual characters, each one on a different thumb. Mm-hmm. One of these things that I would encourage you to finish it, because it takes the mechanics and translate that to a narrative beat. I won't tell you about it, but I cried like a child. It's amazing. It's an amazing game. So I was really excited to see what he's doing with this forced co-op, like online or a couch. You are seeing the whole thing through a split screen. I think that it's just so bold. We are so many of these on their 14th, iteration of Assassin's Creed or whatever. I'm excited about Assassin's Creed. It was just so like, it was one of those things that like we truly didn't know was on the horizon. Like I was very excited about it, and seeing him pitch it too was incredible. It was very exciting.
I think the highlight of E3 was the people who are finally able to announce games that have been under wraps for so long. That are just like, we can finally talk about it. Like I've been working for so long, and we can finally.
Can you
talk
imagine?
About it.
No.
Yeah, it's. Anyway, what was there anything aside? So A Way Out is the thing that you're looking forward to the most.
I think I'm very excited about that. I mean, like the things of course we're getting excited. Like weirdly enough, this year, like it's expansions. The Dishonored 2.
I knew you were gonna say Dishonored.
It looked incredible. It looks so good, and they're straight up gonna take on the Outsider, which is like the main like guy who caused all of this to happen. He's not a protagonist or an antagonist. He just kind of exists in the world and gave you the powers, and they're straight up going after him. Ended up being really excited about the Horizon Zero Dawn stuff, the Uncharted stuff. So like 2017, we're going to be playing more of a bunch of titles that I was just like really in love with. I don't know how you guys felt about it, but I am very excited about the new Wolfenstein. Those guys, Machine Games just wants to get weird with it, and I am very excited about that.
The whole presentation was creepy and unnerving, and made me want to shoot Nazis in the best possible way. Also in game, but that's a running joke. But we talked a little bit about it in our E3 coverage. But what was the reaction like since you were at Bethesda?
Oh yeah, how was that?
The crowd lost it. It was great. It was amazing. As soon as there was a mixture of like, knew it or like told you, and then also just everyone was like yes. So it was a very happy crowd.
Pure aggression.
It was just a very happy crowd in general, though.
Yeah, I have no doubt.
It
was a fan fest.
#, open bar.
It was that kind of, yes. Got it.
They knew how to get their crowd excited.
I love that they're trying to like, that you can make an argument they didn't even need a press conference this year, but I really love that they like, we're trying to build a community, right? Like I thought that was cool.
No, it was a very cool event. It was very well done. It was very fan-minded, which was cool. I mean, honestly, like I think everyone was so impressed with what they had presented that had they gone up on the stage and been like, look, we're not releasing anything new this year, everyone was like,
all right, great.
Cool.
Open bar.
Go enjoy a few more hours of drinks. Here's a concert. We brought in and out. Like, it just...
But the game looked also too like Wolfenstein 2. They got so weird with it. They started with all the American properties. So one of the things that you'll see in that other Wolfenstein 2014 version is that during the course of the game, you played it, Mark? No,
a little bit.
So during the course of the game, you'll hear a lot of pop songs that are American pop songs, Beatles pop songs, because Germany has become German is the pervasive language in the world. They all just sing in German. So you see this through line of songs through over the course of it. And I love that they started this with like this German Nazi lassie. Want to be like again co-opting kind of pop culture and leads right into this insane trailer in id Tech 5, which is a whole new engine. So I mean, again, narratively that game's phenomenal, and I think they're just building on top of that. And it ended with like an acid trip. Like I'm telling you, like let's get weird with this. I'm very excited about it. They're taking some risks, is my point.
I think this year being a weird E3 either sets up next year for being a really awesome one, because the majority of a lot of the 2018 games are early 2018 and spring 2018. So by the time E3 comes around, it's like we've got everything. What's next? And Shuhei Yoshida came out recently because people said that Sony's conference was a little meh, and they were like, we're working on a lot. We just didn't show you everything. And Sony's got their own event in December.
Right. So
there's plenty of arena for more stuff to come out.
Yeah, and that's another trend we can see. Like the individual companies can start doing their own events throughout the year.
And despite Nintendo doing it every other month, they learned and know exactly how to hit home with their audience.
They still rocked their conference. Yeah.
But it's interesting. So we're absolutely seeing this whole cutting short those PR cycles, right? Like I think companies are still trying to find what that optimal release window is, right? Because people are losing attention span. I mean, like BioShock Infinite was announced 2.5 years before it came out, right? Like I think, and they're moving to this announce it and it's out in 6 months, and so like it's just made for a whole weird E3 this year.
Yeah, but I mean the thing that we talked ad nauseum about Bethesda was the fact that they went and you could play all of that this year. It's
agreed, totally. And we know they're working on some huge IPs. We just can't see them yet, so we shall see. Did you get a chance to at the Bethesda Fan Fest? Was the VR Doom VFR playable or
no,
no?
They didn't have Doom. Doom was one of the only games there that I don't think they had console set up or gaming. Oh, I don't think they had it for Dishonored either.
But then not the VR, right? The VFR.
No, they didn't
okay.
have the VR.
Got it.
No.
Yeah, that's probably late 2017.
Just interested to see how that plays.
It seems like more of a toy box. It seems like more of here, set something up and then go through, because it's so much about mobility. Having the wand movement sort of cuts out the Doom experience.
But the glory kill is you telefrag.
Okay.
So
right.
That's kind of cool.
But one of the things is it like being like having a kick as a main melee, but you don't have a kick sensor like that.
Yeah, fair enough.
That sort of throws it out for me because I would kick every single time.
Yeah,
and destroy so many televisions.
Sure. Yeah.
Because why not? Stacey, was there anything big in the gaming world that you want to talk about this week? Or just anything at all? Doesn't have to be big.
I mean, the only big thing really like gaming related that I've seen is the huge Pokemon Go update, which.
What is this update you speak of?
I don't know. I play Pokemon Go on the fringes now.
Yeah.
Do you still play pretty regularly?
I was playing regularly, and then the past couple of weeks I just haven't been turning it on, just because here and a couple of other places that I'm at regularly, they have a Pokestop where you don't have to do anything. It's just here. But did you look up the update?
So they're almost doing an entire overhaul of the battle system. So they're editing how the gyms work as a whole. So now they're going to have 6 consistent Pokemon in every gym that you fight in the order that they were put in. They're kind of imposing new restrictions about you can only have one type of every Pokemon and so forth and so on. The gyms are also now going to give you items.
They've been talking about that for a long time.
They are implementing that apparently, officially. And then there's also the raid battles that are coming up. So they're going to have group events, which it sounds like what's going to happen is you have to get a raid pass by battling at a gym beforehand.
From what I saw, it's one of the items that can be gotten from a gym.
Okay, and so you can have one of those at a time per day.
You get one for free a day, or you can buy several.
Right.
Yeah.
Sign me up. I'm just buying them. So again, path of least resistance.
So this sounds like that they're making their way to the legendary battles that they had in their commercial.
These sound like small scale versions of that because it's going to be tougher to find Pokemon that are going to pop up and you'll have the chance to battle and capture them.
Okay. That makes sense.
So
I dig it.
That seems to be where we're going.
Hopefully it brings people back to Pokemon Go. So now y'all saw my link. I don't know if you looked into it at all. I brought this trailer.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Let's watch
so if you could bring this full screen and play it. This is for a game called Dream Daddy that was announced yesterday, Father's Day. Go ahead and play it. We're going to talk over it. It is a dating simulator.
Yeah. It is.
This was made by the Game Grumps. So that already implies a little bit of comedy in it, but let me see if I can pull up the Steam listing. But
is this available now?
It's not available now.
Okay.
They they did a pre-order for the physical copy.
So there's a physical copy where you can get that looks like a SNES cartridge.
Okay. Genius.
Yeah. So you create your own dad.
Great.
And you're coming to this new neighborhood.
Yep.
And you try to woo other dads. And it's just dad.
I need more dads.
Dad jokes aplenty.
I've always
so many dad jokes.
Do
we know what the moment to moment is like?
Well, it's like a regular dating simulator where it's you go into a certain area, you bump into one of the guys, you have a conversation tree, and that increases your like relationship level with that person, and you can pick which dad to go to. Like, hey, maybe send the same kids to this particular thing so that you can bump into them more.
Okay.
Very strategic.
It sounds it.
Dream Daddy. A dating simulator is a game where you play as a dad. Dating simulator is a game where you play as a dad, and your goal is to meet and romance other hot dads. Are you ready? Hi, ready. I'm Dad.
Wow. If I wasn't sold before,
Right? That's all you need.
100%.
So you and your daughter have just moved into the sleepy seaside town of Maple Bay, only to discover that everyone in your neighborhood is a single dateable dad.
Everyone?
Will you go out with teacher dad?
Probably.
Goth dad?
Yes.
Bad dad?
Oh,
or any
yeah.
of the other cool dads in the game? With minigames, side quests, and a variety of paths and endings, Dream Daddy, a dad dating simulator, is this year's most anticipated dad-based game.
Mini games and it's incredible. Side quests. It's incredible.
This has got a big team behind it. It was written by Vernon Shaw and Leighton Gray. Vernon Shaw, a friend of mine, former head of Hot Pepper Gaming. There's an original score. A lot of the voice actors are going to be members of the Game Grumps crew.
Great. Can we get you in this game? Can you play a hot dad, Mark?
I mean,
can you play a hot dad while eating a hot pepper?
I mean, maybe.
His episodes are some of my favorite of that whole channel.
The last little thing that I'll pop from the Steam
Just the milk.
The Steam was so many dad puns, like to the point where it made us all uncomfortable.
Great.
Yeah. So if you want dad puns, the game, Dream Daddy. Now,
who doesn't? Why was this not at E3? Why was this not on the stage?
Well, I mean, Father's Day is the best day to release it. But have you ever played a dating simulator?
No.
Patrick?
I mean, do you consider Mass Effect a dating simulator? Because yes. Because I feel like I've hooked up with a lot of aliens in my day.
AAA dating simulator?
AAA. That's about as romance. Like, the BioWare is about as deep into a romance as I've gotten. I've had some great experiences.
So you should
I've been hurt.
So
but it didn't have mini games or romance side quests.
Aside from this game, you should play a little one called Hatoful Boyfriend.
Was it pigeon game?
That's the bird game.
Yes.
You can have some bird balls.
I always want
some bird love.
I thought you were going to bring up the other one. I'm really glad you didn't.
Catherine?
I don't know what it's called, but you go after a horse.
Oh.
If I had a nickel for every time I heard, I don't know what it is, but you go after a horse.
Oh, that's all we need.
Horrifying.
Another horse dating game? I'm out. That's amazing.
Okay.
No, is Hatoful Boyfriend, you've played this? This is actually like a legit.
Hatoful Boyfriend is a quote legit dating simulator.
Okay. It was that and Catherine were the two that I was interested in.
It's got like a dark undertones to how the birds got into control of the world. Seriously, no, like
I'm sure.
Seriously, and there's a thing where you can find a blog, like it says the writings of this amazing person, and it sends you to a website, and it's a real website that's been writing for years about human pigeon relations.
Is that right?
It's dark. It's
amazing.
Like using humans as slaves for the bird it's remarkable. It's silly.
The inevitable bird uprising.
Exactly.
I mean, yes.
I would also recommend the John Cena dating sim, where every single character is John Cena. There's Johnny C, JC, John, Cena Sama.
You literally can't go wrong.
No.
Sign you up.
The right choice.
It's very bad. It's very bad, but it's really
ridiculous.
funny because it's just like an MS Paint of like glasses on the same picture of John Cena.
Phenomenal.
It's hilarious.
Oh no.
This has been getting a lot of press. Do you? What would you want in a dating sim?
Well, I can tell you what I need out of Dream Daddy.
Okay.
So once I have chosen my dad and we are happily settled,
Sure.
I need to be able to then arrange the like meet cutes for all of the other dads in the neighborhood.
Huh. Okay.
I just really want a robust character creator. I really want a lot of sliders from my dad. I mean, got to get it right.
Down to the jawline.
Oh,
the
yeah. I mean,
curve where you need it.
And plenty of hairstyles. I don't want to be limited. And can I change them on the regular? Because maybe it's just not working. Those other hot dream dads aren't into my dad.
Barber dad.
Totally. Yes, exactly.
And he will help you out.
And we'll just talk, and he'll give us advice on those other dads, but secretly we're falling in love.
There you go.
I'm gonna come back. I'm telling you, this is what I need.
Done.
Yeah.
Cut my hair, Daddy.
Cut my hair in 2 pieces. This is a really weird week for news. Like E3 gave us a lot, and then Dream Daddy happened, and everybody's I have not seen a gaming website or blog or show or anything not talk about Dream Daddy, so I didn't want to break the cycle.
I don't blame you.
It has been everywhere.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean,
for
with
them.
good reason.
Yeah, for sure.
Dad jokes. Come on.
That probably started that way and just went straight downhill.
I'm sure.
No, Patrick, to go back to E3 for just a second.
Yeah, please.
If there was a game,
my favorite time of year.
If there was a game that the E3 man said, "Hey, I'm going to give you the full final release copy of this game to play right now.
Right now?
I'm pretty sure I know your answer, but I want to know what you would say. What game would you take home right then and there?
Oh, man, I think that's a toss-up. Can I do two? I'm going to go, number one would be God of War. I'm very into the God of War. Very excited about that. And then probably Spider-Man. Spider-Man looks pretty dope.
Not Anthem, huh?
I don't know that Anthem's real. Like, I think if that
thank you, Patrick.
I don't because I don't think that game does not exist yet. Nope. Like that is and so
I made a really cool looking video.
But it weirdly fell flat on me. So like technically there's so much technology on display in that demo. It blew my mind. But it fell flat. Like it was personalityless, and the world was just like it did some cool things that I wanted Destiny to do. Like when you just literally just put on that suit and jump off the wall, it's there as opposed to going to orbit.
A suit like that.
I'm sure.
I'm gonna say this again.
Yeah, and I thought it was cool how it started in first person and then turned into third person when you got into suit. Like I thought that was really interesting because the character, the NPCs that approached were bigger than life, like bigger than they normally would in most first person games. It felt like you were really in that world. But I think that is not indicative of any product that we'll ever see ever. They're saying 2018, and they're not a chance.
No.
And so yeah, whatever. I think that was just a fever dream, and like that has me excited. Of like, will games be there in 5 years? Probably 5, 6, 7 years. I mean, sure. And I think, for what it's worth, I think the Xbox One X is a marvelous box that can produce visuals like that. But we're not seeing games like that anytime soon. So I'd have to say God of War. I think they're going to do some really. I'm hoping they do some really cool things with Kratos and his relationship with his son. I have a bit of a prediction. I think the kid's going to die. Because in that trailer they said, Dad, like he said, like he's given that whole monologue about how you can't don't give your enemies like any mercy. We can't let anybody in. The kid kept making that impassioned plea to let people in, and I think they're gonna let somebody in. The kid will die because of it, and then he's gonna tell Kratos as he's dying, Dad, just you have to keep letting people in, like admonishing him, and it's gonna kill me. And I'm gonna be like, I
don't know. I think if anybody, Kratos would die.
I'm all right with that too.
Yeah, and you get it wouldn't be God of War anymore, but you would have this son of the God of War that inherits everything and has to live with be burdened with the power and the purpose that Kratos gave to him.
Yeah.
But he's also burdened with compassion.
That game looks changing into the next step.
like a John Marston, Jack Marston sort of a thing.
I'm really into it, and I heard Cory Barlog speaking about it, the game's director, and he said this. So it is one tracking shot the entire game. They never cut away. So it is like one continuous shot, which represented a lot of technical challenges. But this game's going to ship sooner than we might think.
Well, no, it said early 2018.
I think it's going to be really early 2018.
Like January?
Yeah. Right. So anyway, fingers crossed. I mean, I know we're going to get it soon, but like if I had narratively, I think that's hopefully exploring some areas that haven't been, certainly not in a God of War game before.
And the last thing we're going to talk about, because I heard about this today too. Apparently there's a job listing for a first-party Xbox studio looking for somebody to make a Horizon Zero Dawn-like game.
Horizon Zero Dawn alike.
Yes. So Xbox trying to get into that techno.
It's phenomenal. Like,
yeah,
it's so good.
It was
4 years out.
That's the thing. Is if they're looking for people now and it's 4 years out, what's the point? Like
by then, yeah. I mean,
so that literally was the listing. Was a
Horizon Zero Dawn
referenced
game.
Huh.
To develop, not to like work on and continue.
Yeah.
So it so very early starting stages.
I mean, Guerrilla was working on that 6 years, and the console generation changed, and I don't know. But thank God, right? Like Guerrilla made some games. Killzone was fine, but I'm glad that's a really cool example of them. Like I think they've moved stratas, right? I think now you look at Guerrilla and say they are like an A-tier studio, and I think they've got like a blank check to write and do whatever they want to do.
Yeah.
It'd be a shame if they weren't making Horizon games for the foreseeable future.
That's switch from that to Killzone, split some teams. We need a real Killzone for the PS4, don't you think? Nah, me neither.
Said no one ever. Yeah.
So the last thing that we're gonna do, since we mostly talked about Brotherhood, Final Fantasy 15, we're gonna give our final rating. Do you want to see more transmedia properties in the Final Fantasy world? Game over or an extra life, Patrick?
In general, I'll say Extra Life, as long as they're not core to the story. They have to be, again, more similar to Kingsglaive. I think this really bums me out that I saw this after
the fact.
Yeah, it's a bummer. Like those relationships would have been richer earlier in playing the game. Again, not the end of the world, and you spend enough time with them that it gets fleshed out. But like, I think it would have moved the needle for me. Stacey?
Yeah, and I think especially these recent ones that came with Final Fantasy 15, they did a really strong job with. So good, keep doing it.
Yeah, more Prompto all the time.
More Prompto for me.
I'm not opposed to this.
Not me neither.
I could get behind that.
Hey there,
Really easy.
opening. It's the best. He does this little dive shoot.
And I look forward to more of this because I give this a 1-up as well.
Right on.
Yeah. Really quickly in chat, Sky Patterson is letting us know about our slate of theatrical live-action video game films. Tomb Raider is coming out March 16th, 2018. Rampage, April 20th, 2018, starring Rock the Dwayne Johnson.
I hope he's the wolf. He's definitely the human, right? He's fighting other things. Like,
yeah.
But in my mind, I just want to see him transform into the thing and walk up a wall and smash shit.
Why not? Sonic the Hedgehog, which we still haven't heard anything about, is due out next year. Minecraft, May 24th, 2019. And Detective Pikachu, which the internet wants to start Danny DeVito, is coming
They're
out.
really adamant about that, too.
2020.
I mean, he's really great on Always Sunny.
Yeah.
Okay, I take it back. I'm now joining the internet. I just needed to say that out loud.
Welcome to the internet.
I'm
He's
not saying I'm
amazing.
disagreeing
Yeah,
with
yeah.
them. I'm just saying it's a very adamant argument.
I think they're making a good call. I like it. I'm on.
All right, everybody. That'll do it for this week's episode. We might be back in 2 weeks, but that's 4th of July weekend, so make sure to follow us on Twitter for more updates on that. Follow the network on Twitter at The Popcorn Talk. And Patrick, what are you working on? What's happening? Where can the folks follow you for more video game?
Near term, all kinds of stuff is coming out, but for now, just follow me at P to the D's and let me know what you're playing.
Stacey.
Excellent. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Stacey Shuttles or all over the web at Nerds Doing Stuff, where I'll be pretending that I'm ready for Comic-Con.
You can find me at Mark Donica. I've been around this week. It's been some pretty, no, I really have. It's been a long
I've seen some shit.
I have. Head on over to Screen Junkies News. I did an episode of Millennial Falcon. It was a whole bunch of fun.
Cool.
Yeah, make sure to go check that out. This week, I'm going to be on the Knapsack Files podcast as well as Force Center Pod. We talk about the 5 things that the Disney parks need to do for Star Wars Land. That's going to be coming out on Saturday. A lot of fun. Also, all of our other stuff on the Popcorn Talk Network. Jedi Alliance is every Sunday. This is every 2 weeks. That may change to be a little bit more frequent because, you know what? We've got goals. And then check out everything on our sister networks, AfterBuzz TV and Black Hollywood Live. And check out our E3 coverage. Let us know how right we were, and that only, because we want to do more gaming stuff here
We
on
did
this
all
channel.
right in our predictions.
Yeah,
we did all
Pretty
right.
solid.
I'm not gonna lie.
I'm excited for the new Spyro game. But until next time, thank you so much for joining us. We will see you at the arcade. Or, well, yeah, Cup of Noodles.
Okay, cup noodles.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Popcorn Talk Network or its owners or principals.